Here we go. Episode 34? Episode 34. Action. Choppers. What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Judge Your Mama podcast, where basically I'm just sharing all of the things that I'm learning in life, being a mom, wife, and an entrepreneur. And I'm just sharing it with y'all. Sharing the ups and the downs in full authenticity because it's real out here in these streets. Today's episode was inspired by a group coaching session that I did last week. And I was working with the group. It's interesting, John, to say, their clients. Ugh. Is there another word for clients? I was working with these group of individuals. And we were working through a specific activity. And it had me thinking about the essentials of business. And when you get started, a lot of the times when there are checklists or people talking about entrepreneurship and what you need to do and what you need to know to make sure it's legit and all of these other things, there are some things inwardly that you need to know and be prepared for. There's quite a few things that you need to know. A lot of people go back and forth on, should you have an LLC, be a sole proprietor, all those different things. And that's cool and all of that. You need to know what you're going to do and be legal, right? Because you don't want nobody to come up and snatch your business and you don't want to be taking it. However, there are some things inwardly before you go out and spend all that money to start the business, before you spend all of that money to get the logo created and have the website together and buy all of the materials and the printers and the candle wax and whatever your business is, before you go do all of that, it is very, very important, very, very, very important, especially today, that you know who you are. I don't know about you, but I know for a good bit of my life, I've been trying to figure out who I am. And just when, I thought I knew, something else happens in life and you begin to evolve and you grow. I remember not thinking too deep about it in my late teens, early 20s, but I know as soon as I had my first daughter in college, it was like, okay, Angel, it's time to figure out who you are in this season, right? And maybe some other moms can relate, but sometimes you grow through life and you're working and you're doing whatever you're doing, going to school, working, whatever it is you're doing, and you have kids, and some people struggle with being identified as that parent or as the parent of such and such, and your life it starts to be wrapped in your child. Like, you start to be just, Layla's mom. I'm Layla's mom, and Layla does these things and this and that. And sometimes you get lost in who you are, what you enjoy, the things that you like to do. After navigating through that, then some years later, then I get married. And then I become such and such's wife. And let me not say such and such. Let me put some respect on his name. Then I become Mitchell's wife. And then after that, I have another baby. And I become 2 kids. I'm Eden's mama and I'm Layla's mama. And you still try to figure out who you are when you have those responsibilities. And then later, you start a business. I've started multiple businesses where it was like, oh, I'm going to be Angel the coach, or I'm going to be Angel the designer, or I'm going to be Angel the planner. Am I going to be Angel the administrator? Am I going to be Angel the virtual assistant? Am I going to be Angel the painter, the creator? All of those things. And a lot of those titles can be seasonal, or they're definitely seasonal. And a lot of those titles, they contribute to a lot of who we are, but they're not who we are. And sometimes, especially if something happens that's traumatic, it could cause you to not like those titles. What do you do? right? What do you do? Who are you? Like, literally, who are you? When you are going through any transition in life, whether it be on a job or in marital or really in business, I'm speaking to business, it's important to know who you are, because any change in any of those titles will affect you in some way. It was very important to know who you are, especially in business, because whether your business succeeds or fails, you got to know who you are to the core. When you go after something and people try to say you are not that thing, or really yourself, sometimes there's a lot of you, that imposter syndrome peeks up his ugly little head and like, girl, no, you can't do that. But you gotta know, you gotta be able to read it off somewhere, list it out somewhere, and know that you are who you are, that you are exactly who God has called you to be, that you are where you are for a specific reason. You are who you are. It's important to be able to stand on something in anything that you do, but specifically in business, it's always good to have some type of foundation. Before you get the LLC, before you get the website, before you go and buy the sign, before you go out and buy a microphone, before you go out and get the flyers created and the business cards and the Google Voice number, before you do all of that, it is very important that you know who you are. It is important to know what you bring to the world and to your business and to your clients, because you will be tested in those areas. You will be tested, whether it be by a client or somebody who ain't really doing too much on social media, or yourself. You will be tested. It will be tried in some kind of way. Technology not gonna always want to work for you, right? Things are gonna happen. You're not gonna always feel good. You're not gonna always feel up to doing the things that you're supposed to do in business. But that's why it's very important to know who you are. Because when you have one off day, don't allow the one off day or the one off week or the one off month to make you question if you're called to do this thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with examining and assessing. Is this where I'm supposed to be? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you find yourself questioning it a lot and questioning who you are to the core, pay attention to it. Before you go start the business, before you go start the podcast, before you go out and start the YouTube channel, before you go out and create a new social media account for whatever it is you're desiring to do, take some time to figure out who you really are. Who you are. Let that be a part of the foundations. You know what? I think that's what we're going to call the true foundations. Solidifying what? Solidifying? I don't know. I'll come up with the name. But it's going to be a part of it. This is just the first layer in the foundation that you need to build or have some kind of basis before you start a business or anything of that matter. Knowing who you are, because it will get tested, whether it's all up in the mental space or somebody else, some outside thing causing you to question that. Get solid in who you are so that when things happen, can't nobody tell you nothing. Right? After years and years have passed and whatever it is that you're looking to happen hasn't manifested yet, you got to know that you know that you know that you know that you know that this is who you are and this is who you're called to be. You got to know who you're called to be. Know who you are. Stand firm on that. Right? That's all I got for today. Y'all be easy. See you next week. Peace.